Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 13th, and well, it was a pretty lazy day the other day. We had the brief little dip below the ABM gold here, and we just came down. Didn't even get to the magenta level and turned right around. And that was the collapsing here of the orange and the fact that we had the reset of short-term buyers. And like I said, we weren't going to be afraid of it when it started to make a turn, that this would just break out into a new range. And again, we don't have any dips to the downside below the extreme here, which meant that it was a pretty decent configuration. Whenever you get these gentle dips below the negative 45 right there, and they come back up, you usually get some pretty decent runs out of it. So no objection to any of the behavior. I know you hear a lot of, yakking going on about this, that, and the other, but we knew that we had a disproportional rise in the NQ versus the rest of the S&P, and this just pretty much balanced things out. A little bit extended weakness, and you can see it's already moved back below the cyan. We already have shorts in an extreme position right here now, so I mean, the only place for that coming down backwards, though you will have to see a turnaround in some of the midterm and long-term buyers. But regardless, what you're seeing is the broader market from the ES fill in, since tech are way ahead of everybody else. In the euro, no change, despite the fact that pretty much most European banks have become insolvent, and liquidity is just going to have to be the name of the game. And as long as central governments are going to do it, it's going to hold up just nicely. There's been a slight short signal from right back over here, and it's just been fading very softly. I mean, you can already see the extreme to shorts. It's like you're not going to fight central banks that want to hold this up. It just isn't going to happen. The altitude of bonds is still ridiculous, but that's okay. And oil. It's like come back, again, this is just going to be one of the weaker trades. I know a lot of people have talked about it's nowhere to go but up. That's only going to happen if we're seeing real economic growth. So when we start to see significant drawdowns and a lack of supply, then you'd be able to say something. But even then, it's just a matter of they'll turn up their production and really be able to ramp up. So it's a difficult position. And gold, just right down at the baseline now becomes really easy. You get the various targets down there, 120, 40, 64 on turnaround moves, at least playing it from an ETF standpoint. It's been in the short signal. It's finally starting to roll out of it from the orange standpoint. Of course, it's got a long way to go to come and reset all the way below the red. So it's going to take a little time. That's okay. And here we go. This was boring action for most of the day, and then it wasn't until we started we got the early fives that came there, it pretty much held up, and then we had a series more of them with the step downs. All in all, not horrible, just this wasn't significant enough a move. We ended up with being down, it was a good 10 or 12, and then we started to just eke back up. It just was slow action, waiting for it to finally do it. Now we're getting a little pre-market breakup to the upside. It's marginal, it's no problem. We've got the cyan below red. I mean, we actually had a few spots early on in the breakout, and price really didn't do a whole lot. It's just a clear indication of accumulation going on. And so some people are obviously not afraid to absorb any availability. And I think that's pretty much the indication right now. You've got to have some significant kind of event that would justify market meltdown. And the fact is, the only really thing that is on the horizon is the Fed, and whether or not they're going to raise rates more than normal, and just given the economic readings that are out there, it just doesn't seem justifiable. So I think that the market is just on pace to continue to do soft stabilization and rise. That's the basis for right now. So if anything changes, we'll update it. As always, live trade well.